The Duke and Duchess of Sussex say they want to step back from royal duties and live without financial help. In a statement, Prince Harry and his wife Meghan said, "We intend to step back as senior members of the royal family and work to become financially independent while continuing to fully support Her Majesty the Queen. We now plan to balance our time between the United Kingdom and North America." For a reaction, let's bring in royal commentator Victoria Arbiter. She joins us now from New York. Thanks for your time.
Good evening.
Victoria, did you see this coming? And what does a step back mean? What does that look like?
Well, that's a very good question. And actually, as we address this statement today, I think everyone is reeling with many more questions than we have answers at this point. Now, I think everyone knew that there was going to be some kind of change in the Sussex's royal role, perhaps a secondment, perhaps 2 years at a Commonwealth realm such as Canada, perhaps a posting abroad for a limited number of months of the year. I don't think anyone saw a statement coming that suggested such a finality as this one. Now, it is interesting that you pinpoint step back versus step down. That would suggest that Harry and Meghan are very much hoping to maintain an element of their royal role. But as we're learning more and more about this, it seems that they hadn't discussed this with the Queen or Prince Charles ahead of releasing their statement. So quite what that royal role will be moving forward remains to be seen.
And I imagine it would be protocol if you're going to take a step like this one, that you would discuss it with the royals ahead of time.
It's absolutely astonishing that they haven't. Yes, any decision that is made within the royal family does not happen by accident. There are conversations ad nauseum behind palace walls before any kind of statement is released to the public, especially one of this magnitude. Now, also what's come out is a brand new website that Harry and Meghan have released, which includes 9 pages of their plans, whether it's financial, relating to their patronages, relating to how they're going to live. That doesn't happen overnight. So that would suggest that this has been planned for quite some time. Perhaps it's what they were working on during their 6-week break. So again, to have not addressed any of that with the palace beforehand really has left everyone scratching their heads.
So has anything like this happened before? I mean, I know some are comparing it to Edward's abdication. That was in 1936.
Yeah, there's been a lot of comparisons to the abdication crisis, and yes, in a way, Harry and Meghan are stepping down, but it's actually a very different situation. Edward was forced to step down in 1936. Harry and Meghan are choosing to step down in 2020, so that's a very different scenario. When they say stepping back, they do say in their statement as well that they plan to continue to support the Queen, but what does that mean moving forwards? If they're not full-time members of the royal family because they are effectively resigning, do they come to Trooping the Colour, the Queen's annual birthday parade? What about the Field of Remembrance that Harry has traditionally taken over from Prince Philip around Remembrance Sunday? What about the Festival of Remembrance? What about Prince Harry's ceremonial roles within the military? These are all questions that technically should have been dealt with and answered by the palace before any kind of bold statement like this. So there's a lot to be decided as we move ahead in the coming days and weeks. But I think Prince Harry and Meghan, by releasing their statement ahead of time, they're trying to control the narrative and they're trying to gain public support.
Victoria, let me ask you about the financial independence part of this, because they're saying they want to live basically on their own dime. But typically, when someone of the royal family steps out of the spotlight, do they still get money to live on?
Well, it all depends on the situation. Now, in this 9 pages of text that's on their website, they're saying that they're going to forego their 5% of the sovereign grant that's used to run their office, but that they plan to maintain their funding from Prince Charles. So that suggests they won't be totally financially independent. Now, anyone who's a celebrity or high up in public life in the US and indeed Canada knows you can make a lot of money on the public speakers circuit. But that's where things start to get complicated when it comes to cashing in or being accused of cashing in on their HRH status, commercialising the royal family for commercial gain. Sarah Ferguson, it ended catastrophically for her. Prince Andrew's dabbled. Sophie Wessex had to give up her full-time job when she realised that her full-time job and being a member of the royal family did not work side by side in a good fashion. So again, the finances, Harry and Meghan have said they'd like to maintain Frogmore Cottage. That's property of the Crown. It's not theirs, but it was gifted to them by the Queen. But do they maintain that as their base in England? What about when it sits empty for the rest of the year when they're based in Canada? Again, these are all elements that should have been sorted out before releasing this news to the public.
Got it. Royal commentator Victoria Arbiter, appreciate your time. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.